Good morning, everybody, and this is part two of our character podcast breakdown of Secrets of the Damned with author Jim A. Shaw. Our first podcast, which you can find on the Secrets of the Damned YouTube channel as on JJ Governor Carrier, talked about the main protagonist, Jack Stevens. We're with the author this morning. Jim, good morning.
Good morning.
Jim, we talked about Jack Stevens in the previous podcast. We're getting into another major character in the book, Secrets of Damned, the Kirk, the first edition. Tell us about this very important character.
Oh, John Curtis. He's
Curtis, yes.
He's the first guy that Jack meets as he moves to Woodstock.
Now, how did he hook up or meet up?
Well, Jack's Fiero breaks down at the overpass. It doesn't really break down per se, but it's running real funny and rough, so he decides to park it. And he's just going to walk into town and look for a dealership to get it repaired. John Stevens just happens to be driving by in his Mustang and picks him up. The interesting thing about John Curtis' Mustang is the convertible top is broken, so he's driving around in the rain with the top down.
Which can be romantic, but in this case it's not. So.
Right. John Curtis, briefly, he's a one-time town rec department manager, but he's no longer in that position. He fell into some hard times, and consequently he's now a recovering alcoholic, and he's a small business owner.
So what type of business is he into? Is it construction or mechanic?
The business was called Odds and Ends, and he basically is a guy that does things that contractors don't want to do.
So what do you think the two characters created a quick friendship or fellowship?
Well, John Curtis is a laid-back kind of guy from Australia. He's still got a lot of his accent, but he's lived mostly in Canada. He recognizes Jack Stevens as the race car driver, but he's not entirely sure.
Mm-hmm.
So he's kind of was a fan, and he's naturally one of these guys that likes to help people.
Okay.
So, and he's very friendly and open, so they strike up a friendship. More in the beginning, it's more John reaching out to Jack, because Jack is, pretty preoccupied with other things on his mind as he comes to Woodstock.
Now, we would say John is a flawed character or flawed personality?
Aren't we all?
But flawed because, he's alcoholism and he's had some bad breaks.
He's had some bad breaks for sure, yeah. Yeah, he's definitely a flawed guy.
Now, as we look along in the book, because, things happen very quickly in the Kirk, because, any type of major plot that we have in the Kirk, because you're dealing with someone trying to recover his life, and the only way he knows how, and tries to get other people involved in that. Curtis's role in the first book, is it very direct, or is there's something with Curtis and Jack Stevens that is revealed later on? Like, is it a stable relationship, or is it something that is kind of flawed like Curtis's is?
Between Jack and John?
Yes.
They're like buddies.
Yeah.
They fall into a familiar pattern of kind of like being best friends.
Yeah.
They pal around a lot, and John is the first person that Jack opens up to about what he thinks is going on behind this crazy rash of strange murders going on in the Woodstock area.
Because he's kind of sort of he's drawing stuff out of John. John recognizes things like Jack recognizes it. Like there's a parallel of thought, as we say. Now, as the book goes on in part one, John's importance in Jack's life builds. You had mentioned that was the intention, to be a strong relationship as you go along. What, for the readers that haven't read all the first book, or probably getting into it, what can they anticipate with John and Jack's relationship?
They're buddies. They're friends to the end. They are literally friends to the end.
To death do them part.
Till death do they part.
Yeah. So listen, Jim, thanks a lot for this second podcast this morning. Again, this is the second and ongoing series with the character studies in podcast form of Secrets of the Damned, the Kirk. The ongoing series will be uploaded over the next few days. We want to remind everybody that the audiobook of the Kirk is still in development with our voice actress Nora Aga from Ontario, and the Amazon version or Kindle version of the Kirk is available on Amazon. Great price. Anyway, Jim, thanks a lot, and let's look forward to part 3. Have a nice morning.